So this prep's different because we found out how to stay full and big while gaining condition. So it's just gonna be a good one.
What's the
It's gonna be
secret
a good
there?
one.
What's the secret? Come on.
So what the biggest thing is we were having low food, right?
Yeah.
Like a cup of oatmeal a day. So in addition to that, I'm doing like 2 hours of cardio. I'm training hard 7 days a week because I don't have off days. I train every day. So my body never had a chance to really catch up. So on this one, we took a different approach and was like, okay, let's make this change here. Let's not try to stress the body so much.
Yeah.
And it's responding, so now that the muscle's not being harmed, I brought the cardio level down, the time limit I was doing it because I was already in shape.
Yeah.
So when I went to visit Phil, he was like, why are you doing so much cardio and you're already in shape? He was like, you need to change. You need to do this and do that. So now it's crazy because, man, it just made a world of difference. The training sessions are way different. And Chris is like, man, you're getting denser and hard.
I bet Chris was happy.
Oh, he was super happy, man. And because, he wants to, if I improve, that's good, on his end because he's overlooking the program. So little changes, man. That's just, that was the biggest one is the workload didn't get decreased, but the fashion in which we were approaching it, that changed. And my body was like, finally, because I think my body's like, you're giving us a break. Like, because I come from being a leaner athlete. So
it comes with the rest, and obviously your central nervous system can take a hammering. And I think people don't realize that you actually work full time, don't you?
Yeah, this is here in between clients, and I tell, which is cool because I cut the time out, But I tell people, man, it's where everyone's like, oh, I am living a normal life.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't eat, sleep, train, dude.
I was gonna say, because everybody else you're on stage with just goes to the gym, trains, and spends a lot of the time resting, recovering. You're out there grafting, doing a 9 to 5, trying to fit bodybuilding in, fit the meals in on top of all of that. So
I got up at 4:30 this morning. A normal day for me is up at 4:30. I head to the gym. I do fasted cardio. I come home. If I need to cook, I cook then. If I already have food, then I'm good to go. I'll get cleaned up, get ready for clients for the day, head out, come to work, train clients. Then in between clients is when I do my own workout. So I train, and then I'll have a meal, short break, and then I go back to train clients because I do a morning evening split. So now I have clients in the evening. So I'll finish them out. I'll leave here, go to the grocery store if I need to, or even cook more food because I cook my own food.
I watched your what was it when you went shopping and you were buying steak and you like your steak on prep was like $33 a pound or something. I was like,
man, dude.
And this guy's working 9 to 5.
It's crazy. So I leave there, I go do the cardio at night because I have 2 cardio sessions. And then I come home, man, with the wife for a little bit, go to sleep and get up and do it all over again. And it's every day. So I tell people, this sport, I tell people, okay, this sport isn't easy, and it's definitely not easy when you're doing the normal life. Because, like you said, man, it's a full-time gig for me, literally a full-time gig.
Yeah.
So, but my mentality is for it. When you have that passion, I think that's what drives me. Is like, I can't let myself fail. I can't.
Yeah.
I committed to something when I started this, so I have to take whatever comes with it. And the good thing is, man, eventually I will get that big contract or something that will come through, and I'll be able to, eat, sleep, and train like the rest of the guys. And then I think that's when I'll really be able to see my body flourish, because right now I eat meals on the fly. I sleep when I can. It's just sporadic, man.
Do you think that'll come this year, depending on your placings then? I think that you should have been signed by now, really. Let's be honest.
Yeah. And I am signed by a company now with Labrada Nutrition.
Yeah.
But they don't really gear towards bodybuilding anymore, like that. And man, now we have social influencers, so they push product for $200 of free supplements every month. So the days of like the huge contract for bodybuilders, you really got to find that right company that fits you and that's willing to pay you to push their product, so it's not the easiest thing, man. That's why I have to keep a job, I have to work because bills.
Keep the lights on.
Yeah, man, exactly.
Right. A lot of people have asked me, because I've obviously did a sort of a fans question to put towards you. Everyone wants to know what went down with you and Phil the other week.
Oh, when I went down there to go
Yeah,
visit.
yeah.
So it was I chatted with him, you know, because he was around through the Olympia prep, through the California prep.
Yeah.
And so once I decided I wanted to do the Arnold, he's like, man, that's a great opportunity. I think you should do it. He said, why don't you look at your schedule, and I'll see when I'm home, and you see when you have free time closer to 5-6 weeks out, and then why don't you come out? And you come out, we'll do some training and stuff. I'll get a good look at you, you know, kind of, you know, give you my best input, this and the other. And what I love about him is he's always straightforward, and it's just straight. There's no, oh, I'm gonna sugarcoat this for you, or you know, it was good because I went out there and he was like, okay, this is what I see, and this is where me being critical, this is where you can improve. He was like, here, and there. And but of course he told me, you know, he's like, I'm not worried. I'm just telling you, if I was down there on a judge's table, if I'm looking at you and the rest of the athletes, this is where they could get you at. And so this is what you need to work on. So it was a huge learning experience.
There's no one better to talk to, really, is there? Let's be honest.
I'm telling you. And because our physiques were so similar, he was the one that made the suggestion about the cardio. He was like, dude, you're doing level 10, that's 45 minutes, that's way too much. And he was like, you need to bring that down. And man, just that small change, my body was like, thank you. It's almost like it was a weight lifted off of my body.
Yeah.
And then it just responded, and it got tighter. So while I was out there training, we were doing a shoulder workout. He was like, look how it's pushing against the skin. And he said, because your body's not stressed. Now it's starting to respond to what you're doing, the training and the food. It actually has a chance to catch up.
Yeah.
But what you were doing was depleting it over and over. And so he was like, that you just can't do that. So man, it was really, really interesting. It was worth it. You know, there's a lot of knowledge I learned while I was out there.
So when he was pointing out things that you needed to tweak, were those things that you already knew, or did you have something to take away from that? Did he mention something, for example, like, I don't know, rear delts or something, and you were like, oh, I didn't really notice that. Now when I go away, I can apply that to, you know, the process that I've been doing.
Oh no, it was the same stuff like that. I already knew. Yeah, like, you know, because that's the thing. Like I was saying, man, you have to be able to look at your physique and say, yeah, this is good, but I don't really like this. And so
that was more positive reinforcement that you knew that you knew your body well enough that he was pointing out the same things you knew you needed to bring up then, basically.
Yeah, because he was like, so you've grown here, and because, you know, he's seen my pictures, obviously, and he's seen me in person. And he said, you progressed here, you got better here, and there. So now that you have those checked away for now, let's refocus on this. Because if you, in this shot, this is where someone could try to edge you out. And, you know, he's like, well, you need, and then we did some posing. And he's like, man, see, this is a strength of yours. Like you have this big, full chest.
Yeah.
So the way I was hitting my side chest, he was like, no, man, you got to accentuate that. You need to pose so they can see that, because it's not small. So, you know, he's tweaking some poses and stuff like that. And it was cool because it's the same stuff I saw him doing. Because these are the reasons I saw the sport.
Yeah.
You know, when someone told me to look him up, and I saw that he had the same type of swag, the you know, the shoes, the clothes, the cars. So that's what was really a driving force for me, because I'm like, man, so you can do, you got all of that stuff from bodybuilding. And, you know, he was like, yeah, man, you know, it's a business. So I learned a lot from him, you know, in that aspect as well, kind of like how to carry myself, you know, whether you win or lose, you know, all those different things. But it was really positive reinforcement.
He's had a lot of pressure. So basically, you just had a masterclass, really, haven't you?
Big time. Yeah, man. And it was 5 days, and it was just all knowledge. It was like, you should do this, you should do that.
Do you think he was eyeballing you because he knew you were a threat? Do you think he was like, I'll get him out? I said this to who was it I had on? I think it was Quentin Beastwood.
Oh, yeah.
Quentin Araya, yeah. And I said, oh, do you think he was doing like what Arnie was with Franco, like giving him bad advices?
No, and that's what, man, that was the cool part is, I told people that were asking about how it was, and I'm like, you know what's crazy about that guy is he will tell you, and he's giving me all this information knowing that we could be competition.
Yeah.
That, you know, if he comes back, we could very well be on that stage, you know, in the same call out. And dude, that it's like, it never crossed his mind. He was like, no, dude, like this is this is how it goes. Like, you want to be a champion, this is what you need to be doing. And
Do you
he's
feel
like
like he passed you the baton almost?
yeah, big time. Because he was like,
No pressure.
Yeah, that's how it was though. That I could see that was the energy. He was like, Patrick, man, I'm telling you. And he would just, he's dumping the information, into my brain. And he's like, it was cool, man. It was really kind of surreal. Cause like I said, just think of all the people who follow bodybuilding, of his whole career. Here comes me out of the blue in 2014. I wasn't a national overall champion. I wasn't, I showed no, I mean, my rookie year, I was placing 13th and 8th. There was no, so I think what he saw more than anything was that competitive drive like he had when he first started. Like, I want to beat everybody, whatever it takes. It doesn't matter. I'm going to train hard, and I want that title. And I told him that when I talked to him for the first time in person a long time ago. I said, man, I'm going to be the best in the world. I'm going to get that title. And I tell myself that as no disrespect to the other guys.
Yeah, they all want it. Yeah.
Yeah, I all want it. Yeah, so, and he was like, I think he could really feel it when I said it because, now it's like you kind of see the progression like, damn, this guy was last. He didn't stop. Then he was last again. He didn't stop. He got first. Then he got 13th. He didn't stop. Then he got first. Then he got 10th, and he's still not stopping. Like, he's just still going at it with the same attitude, the same mentality. Because, man, it's a lot of mental pressure in the sport, and it can break a lot of guys. If they suffer a few defeats or maybe a few bad placing, it can mess with them mentally. Yeah. But somehow I've adopted this mentality to lock it into my brain. Like, yeah, you guys only beat me because I'm not my best yet. Wait till I become my best.
It's exactly that. You've only been in the game such a small amount of time. You've got to sort of give yourself a grace period to grow into shows, as a lot of guys say. So obviously from that, Phil says he's potentially announcing end of February. Is that what you got from him?
Yeah, that I literally just got off the phone with him yesterday, and that's what he said. He was like, it's still kind of up in the air, because I told Ron, from Muscle Development, he was like, if you were a gambling man, how would you, and I said, well, man, it's kind of like the roulette table. You have the first 3, second 3, third 3. Yeah. And because you gotta ask yourself those questions. Well, first, can my body do this? Can it handle a prep? Because, with him taking the loss in 2018, you don't want to come back anything less than your best, 100%. Yeah. So you always got to ask yourself, can my body handle it? And then you have to say, okay, well, what's my personal life like? Like, is everything in line there? Because his wife, she had her illness last year. Yeah. So she's recovering. She's still recovering from that. And so then the third question is, okay, business-wise, what do I have going on business-wise?
Yeah,
so with those 3 factors,
yeah,
so that he's doing some stuff with The Rock and Danny Garcia. So those things got to line up for him. And, that's what he told me. He was like, dude, I would love to, trust me, but I have to make sure that I'm able to give this prep 100%, because if I'm not going to come back as my best ever, then there's no point in doing it. And I just agree with him 100%. I was pushing him to do it because I'm like,
you need to get on stage with him.
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
I said, this might sound selfish, man, but I need to be up there, because once again, if this is your last year or last couple of years, if you come back, I just want to be able to say, man, I got to line up with the guy that I started this sport. Like, that's like having a fight with Mike Tyson or playing ball with Jordan. There's certain people inspire you to start. And not a lot of people get that opportunity to say, yeah, I went head up with him. I got to be up there. And,
William said the same thing. I said to William, I said, who do you want to beat this year? And he just said straight away, there was no hesitation. It was Phil. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah. He said, Phil's stuck in my head.
Yeah.
I think you're not the only one. I think if he doesn't come back this year, like you say, obviously the Rock show starts, sort of roughly the same, not long after the Olympia.
Shortly after.
Yeah. I think it's going to be such a shame for the Olympia this year, because obviously Roden's not in it. But like you say, he's got to be on that stage. Otherwise, I felt last year it wasn't an Olympia. It just didn't feel right watching it.
it was definitely different. As for me, it was an amazing experience because it was my
Yeah,
first.
yeah,
So you can't really make that call. You can't really make that call on, you know, I couldn't make a call on, oh, it was good or it wasn't good.
yeah,
I
yeah,
just know that crowd was crazy. That stage was huge. And so I can only imagine if he was there, you know, the amount of people that was, I mean, it would be crazy, you know. So definitely for him, I him coming back would definitely be good for the sport. It'll be good for, because, you know, if the competitors get a win that he's coming back, then of course everyone's going to want to bring their best. Everyone's going to train harder, and for me, it's motivating because now we're going to see, you know, everyone's going to, because you're only going to be as good as your competition. I don't care what
yeah.
anyone says. That when you have a certain, if I take my Camaro down the street and I line up with a Honda Civic or something, I'm not going to smash the gas because I don't need to, you know, to beat a Honda Civic. I can just go half speed and I'll be just fine. But if I get up there and it's a Lamborghini, okay, we're going to have to give this all we got because that car's not messing around. And that's the same concept here, except for me, fortunately, in my own personal career, all these guys right now are like Lamborghinis. You know, they're all requiring me to give 100% to, you know, to beat them. And it's just like at the top of that chain, who do you got? You got Phil. Phil's like the final boss in a video game. You know, you beat everyone
Bugatti.
else. Yeah, exactly. And here comes that 200 plus mile an hour. Like, okay, you know, and so it'd be cool, man. You know, and even like I said, if I don't have the opportunity to compete and be up there in the same call out or beat him or whatever, to be up there on that stage and actually see him do his thing in that
Yeah,
shape, you know, because I saw it, but I only saw it from the crowd in
yeah.
2018. Being up there on stage and backstage is completely different, man. And to see him do his thing, yeah, I think that'd be pretty special, you know, to see him go out at his best versus when he definitely was not his best in 2018. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So it will be interesting. It will be great to see, man. Great for the sport.
Okay. To wrap up then, Patrick, is there anything you want to say to my followers or your fans? Anything at all?
Man, all I can tell you is guys, buckle up because this is going to be at least a 10-year ride. I'm not here to be one and done, you know, to get a couple victories or whatnot. I'm here to stay for a while, and you guys are going to see, you know, a lot of people say the best is yet to come, but that's going to be the case for Patrick Moore over the next 10 years because you will see a different version. I think I have proven that every time, you know, I get off stage and someone's like, he was good, but, you know, that was good, but, you know, so I'm just going to keep on taking care of those buts. Like, yeah, okay, so he did that. And every time I come back, you're going to see an improved version. And I think it's going to be exciting for the sport. I think it's good to see some newer guys like myself come up and, you know, get to compete and go at it with the older guys. And it's just going to be good, man. So I'm excited to give the fans what they want to see because I did get a good reaction off my physique. And so I'm just going to roll this thing out, man. You know, it's going to be good.
I think you're the one that everybody wants to see. It's normally Rami, but I think next year everybody's going to want to see you, and that's it.
Yeah, it's going to be good because they're going to see that he's not messing around.
It's going to be a
Everything he
Patrick
says he
Moore
wants to do.
hype train.
Yeah, and my biggest thing is, man, to show a lot of followers and a lot of fans of bodybuilding that it's possible. You know, because I think a lot of people think when you get into the sport, you have to have. I had a bit of an auspicious start. No one, like you said, no one knew who I was until Olympia.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, damn, this dude came out of nowhere.
Literally.
Whereas
yeah.
everyone else, you know, they were a team champion or they were an overall national champion. So you kind of saw them come up. But you got to think, I went from 13th place one year to first place to 10th place at the biggest show. And arguably could have got a couple places higher, you know. So it's going to be exciting. And I'm just happy that the fans are on board and they like what they're seeing. And so I'm just going to keep, you know, feeding that out there, man.
You're like the people's champ. That's the best way I can describe you. Everybody likes you. As soon as you come out, everyone was like, whoa, and they were just in awe of you. I think you are the people's champ, quite literally.
Yeah.
And my favorite bodybuilder is William Bonac, and I've not even called him that.
Yeah, man. It's, you know, a lot of people like that. I go back and forth with them on social media. I'm like, yeah, guys, because you guys have to keep in mind that I'm just human. I'm just a normal guy. I work a job. I just do one thing exceptionally well. And I've been doing it for a long time. And now I'm just fortunate enough to share it with everyone because, that's just the road that I'm heading on. And it's good to interact with them because, like I said, man, the athletes have to get the fans into the sport.
Yeah.
And I feel like when we can do that, that's why I take on as many interviews as I can because people actually get a chance to see what type of person I am. I'm not just a guy that lifts weights and that's it. I do the same. I like video games. I like cars. I like to hang out. I like to do fun stuff. But when it comes to bodybuilding, that's where my passion is, and it's good that they all share the same thing.
Brilliant. So, Patrick, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure, brother. We should have done it yesterday, but I don't know what happened there. No comments.
we had a bit of a time mix up on that one, brother. But you're on the other side of the world, so.
Well, again, honestly, I can't thank you enough for coming on, Patrick. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully, we'll get you on again maybe after the Ohio.
Absolutely, brother. Like I said, I'll come back home. And I'll be home for about a week. And so, man, I'd love to get with you and let you know how my experience in my first Arnold was. And then we'll get to go on to Australia. And then we'll see what's after that. Yeah. I want those trophies, man. I want those first places.
They look good, brother.
Yeah. I'll get there.